Hey, welcome to Strength Side. This is Strength Side Friday, and today we got a question from Facebook, not from Facebook, on Facebook, from our buddy Dustin. And if you want to ask a question on Facebook, just go to facebook.com/strengthside and you can shoot us a question there. So Dustin's question is about shoulder blade retraction. And what he says is that when he's doing his rowing movements, every time that he is trying to retract his shoulder blades, pinch them back together, is that he's running into restriction. And especially in one shoulder, he says, one shoulder just feels like it gets jammed up. He feels like it gets kind of impinged there, and he can't retract it as well as he can his other shoulder. And he doesn't feel like he's working the right muscles, right? Because when we're doing a retraction movement, you should be working your shoulder blade retractors. And he says he feels like he can't really feel the muscles on the insides of his shoulder blades working. So this is a great question, Dustin, and this is something that we see a lot in the gym, is that people tend to not be able to disassociate shoulder blade movement from their spine. So a lot of the times we see people go into a rowing movement, and what they do is they pop their rib cage up, boom, and then they extend at the lower spine, and then they pinch their shoulder blades together back here, right? And they're wondering why are my shoulder blade retractors not getting a good workout? Why don't I feel like these shoulder blades are working very well? And that's also something that Dustin mentioned, is that he feels like he has a hard time keeping his spine neutral while he's doing these exercises, like barbell rows and dumbbell rows, I think he mentioned. So basically what's happening is this rib cage needs to stay in a neutral position, right? And we need to keep it actually what we call internally rotated. So if my rib cage becomes externally rotated, which means it's flaring and popping up, then my shoulder and my shoulder blade is not set to move smoothly along the rib cage, which we need it to get good scapular retraction, okay, and to use the appropriate muscles to do that. So what we have to do, Dustin, and anybody having the same issues that Dustin is having, is we need to find a way to train your body to stay in neutral, to keep these rib cages down and internally rotated while we go into retraction, okay? Because we don't want retraction to just be flaring of the spine. That's a no-no. We want things to stay locked in place here, and then you're going to get good shoulder blade retraction on the rib cage. So we're going to hop into a couple exercises that you can use to facilitate this. Let's get to it. So our goal is to turn on this anterior core, make it keep this rib cage in place, and then to achieve our scapular retraction. So a great way to do that is to get down on the ground. If you've watched any of our other videos, you may see a common theme. A lot of the time we like to regress movements to laying on the ground and being in a more stable position. So if you think about it, one of the things that's really going to turn on my core is if I do a plank, all right? Now, it's pretty hard to do scapular retraction from a plank position. So what I can do is I can just bring my knees down, and now I'm in this quadruped position, okay? So I got my knees right under my hips and my hands right under my shoulders, but what I want to think about is I want to think about keeping tension here like I am planking, okay? So you can even do a plank first and then let your knees come down, and I want you to hold the same tension in your stomach, and from here we're actually just going to retract our scapula. So I'm going to make sure that my rib cage is staying down. I can even try to kind of rotate inward to make sure that that rib cage doesn't flare out. And I'm just going to bring my arm up to the side and retract my shoulder blade. Just like this. Now you can mess around with the hand angle. I can go hand facing straight up. I can point my thumb down. I can even point my thumb up if I want. Just giving some different variation and some different stimulus. But what's very important is that I'm just really cueing my rib cage to stay tucked down, internally rotated. I can even rotate it this towards the midline a little bit, like I mentioned, and I'm doing retraction. So this is just going to be a quadruped shoulder retraction. Now what I can also do is I can start to bend the elbow. So now I can retract like this. Boom, same thing. I'm just cueing my rib cage to stay tucked down. I'm going to do this other arm now. And working on getting true scapular retraction. Now you may think, wow, this is really a very easy exercise, but what we're doing is we're really just retraining our body to know how to stabilize while we move our shoulder into retraction. And it's going to be very important to ingrain this muscle, or this, movement pattern in your body before you can start throwing weight on a barbell or doing a heavy dumbbell row. First, we need to train it body weight, just get our body to be able to stabilize itself on its own, and then we start adding some external load in. So that's a quick and easy tip to learn how to move your shoulder blades a little bit better into retraction. Now remember that you're always going to get better results from stabilizing your spine and keeping a neutral spine ribcage region, and then being able to move your shoulder blades in all different ranges of motion on that fixed torso. Okay? So if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a like, and if you want to talk more about maybe some other exercises that you can use to train this scapular retraction better, go ahead and leave a comment, let us know, and we will be sure to make some more videos on that in the future. Subscribe to the channel, and we will for sure see you in the next video. Peace.